into the stretch, and American Pharoah makes his run for glory as they come into the final furlong. Frosted is second with 1/8 of a mile to go. American Pharoah's got a 2-length lead. Frosted is all out at the 16th pole. And here it is. The 37-year wait is over. American Pharoah is finally the one. American Pharoah has won the Triple Crown.
Welcome to the Paddock Pass with Brian Mariano on 104.5 The Team.
Hello, friends. Welcome to this week's episode of the Paddock Pass. I am your host, Brian Mariano. And after a week off, we are back to talk about everything in horse racing. We're going to go over this week's races at Gulfstream Park. The Hall of Fame ballot came out this past week. We have a very special guest today, producer, co-host, whatever we need him to be on the Levack Show. Tom Gozlowski is joining us, and we're going to play a special game. It's an Oscars-style award show for this past year in horse racing. We have updates on California Chrome, on Frosted, and I have a huge message for Jerry Hollendorfer, and that's coming up in a minute. But the reason we missed last week is, unfortunately, this past week I lost a close friend. So my condolences are out to Matt Pasculi's family, my friend Dave Pasculi, very close to him. And it's been a tough week. So my condolences are to the Pasculi family, and know that I'm always here for them. So a couple weeks ago, unfortunately, we had some rough luck again with our pick fours. 3 out of 4 again. One of these days I'm going to hit it. And actually in this episode, right above you on my selections, is actually going to be a 20-cent pick 6 ticket. Now there's a huge carryover going into Friday, and I think that Saturday is going to be a carryover as well. So I have a very affordable ticket for pick 6 standards, and hopefully we can have a huge score with that ticket. Going off of that, this past week, or even Thursday with my father, I've been playing pick fours for the last 3 years or so. Been pretty lucky. Other times, not so much. Always going 3 out of 4. And of course, my father always has to call me and let me know when he's playing a ticket. If he plays my tickets, hopefully not the past couple weeks because we've been a little bit unlucky. But he calls me on Thursday and says, hey, I hit the pick 4 at Gulfstream. I'm like, oh, great. What did it pay? And of course, I look up and it's $170 for 50 cents. So maybe I'm just going to get him on the show and he's going to start giving me all his pick 4 tickets, because right now we're just not going so well. But other than that, we're back, ready to go, giving you more selections for Saturday at Gulfstream Park. I have another, as I said, pick 6 ticket. And the big thing I want to talk about right into it is my girl, Songbird. Now, Jerry Hollendorfer, I know you're probably not listening, but if you are listening, you need to listen to me. This horse needs to run in the Kentucky Derby. She is the best 3-year-old out there. There's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind she is the best 3-year-old running. And you need to go out and say that she's the best horse and let her run against the best. After coming off a huge year for horse racing with American Pharoah on a huge high, how great a story would that be if this filly came out, beat the boys, and took over the entire country just like Zenyatta did a few years ago, just like Rachel Alexander did in 2009. This horse is that good. I've watched a few of her races. She is that good. I'm just wondering what Jerry Hollendorfer is afraid of. What are you afraid of? So you're going to take the way out where she wins the Kentucky Oaks. She'll run in all the filly races throughout the summer and probably come back and win the Ladies Classic. That's great. And she'll be known as one of the better fillies ever. But if she wants to be known as one of the best horses of all time, she needs to go against tougher competition. Rachel Alexander won the Preakness. Zenyatta beat the boys in the Breeders' Cup Classic. In order to be remembered in history, this horse needs to go out and beat boys, needs to beat older horses. Now, I'm jumping the gun a little bit with the older horses comment because obviously she's in her 3-year-old season, still very young. But this horse needs to come out and flex her muscle. Jerry knows that she's the best horse. What are you holding back from? Go out, kick the boys' butts, win. I mean, I honestly think this horse could win the Triple Crown if she's geared that way. She is that good. But Jerry has to give her the chance. And unfortunately, I just don't know if he's gonna. So, Jerry, if you're listening, you have to do it. Let her run in the Kentucky Derby and show everybody that she is the best 3-year-old running. This is the Paddock Pass here with Brian Mariano. Now, we're going with our updates from Dubai. Chrome worked Friday morning. Looked fantastic. All roads lead to him running Thursday in his prep race, which should be a blowout. I mean, this horse should jog, but I don't think Art Sherman's really worried about whether he wins or not. Just want to make sure the horse is progressing forward before the March 26th World Cup. And at this point, he has to be the favorite ran second last year. Yes, had a year full of injuries, but came back looking very good in his last race. This race, I think he's going to progress further, and I think he's going to be the favorite coming World Cup night. So I think that's a lock. I think that California Chrome's going to win on Thursday. I don't really think you're going to get that great a price for those of you that want to play the Maidan races early in the morning on Thursday. But the horse is progressing well. Looking forward towards that prep race, and then obviously again to next month's Dubai World Cup. Now, big news coming out this week. This is, of course, the Paddock Pass here with your host, Brian Mariano. The Hall of Fame ballots came out this week. Now, years ago, there used to be a problem with, they used to give it in 4 categories, kind of how they did the Eclipse Awards, where you had male horse, female horse, trainers, and jockeys. And it used to be, especially when you had 2 great horses like I was alluding to before with Rachel Alexandra and Zenyatta both coming around the same time, you can only vote for one. And of course, the year that they ran, Rachel Alexandra beat out Zenyatta for Horse of the Year. But isn't it a shame that we have to choose one or the other? They're probably the 2 best fillies I've ever seen. So why are we choosing one or the other? They both deserve to get in. So I'm glad that the Hall of Fame realized this and got rid of the categories. Now it's open for all. And this year, there's some really solid horses, trainers, and jockeys up there. And the 2 best horses, obviously, are Zenyatta and Rachel Alexandra. These 2 have the best resumes to go in that I've seen in quite a while. Rachel Alexandra winning the 2009 Preakness, of course, winning the Woodward in dramatic fashion right up there in Saratoga across the street from the Hall of Fame. Zenyatta won 19 out of 20, 13 grade 1s. These 2 are by far a cinch. They're in. Now, an interesting one I saw was trainer Steve Asmussen, and it actually surprised me a bit because I thought he was already in there. Kind of shocked when I saw his name, and then I realized that when he first was going to go in a few years ago, the committee took him off because of all the allegations from PETA, which, I understand it was a tough time for the sport. There was a black eye through it for everything because we, unfortunately didn't have the story of American Pharoah quite yet. But Steve Asmussen is second in wins all time. He's 4th in purse money. He's one of the best trainers, if not the best trainer going. He deserves to be there. There's no doubt. And then when I looked at the jockeys, the one I was really happy to see, because when it comes to jockeys, you have to be licensed for at least 20 years or be 5 years removed from retirement. Now, Ramon Dominguez, I'll never forget, because for a 3 to 5 year span was no doubt the best jockey in the country. It wasn't even close, probably the world. He won everything. You knew that when you went to the track and put money on Ramon Dominguez, you had a shot. There was no doubt. And unfortunately, in 2013, when he had that awful injury, when he fractured his skull and had forced to retire, it really opened up a lot of the jockey standings for around New York. So it was unfortunate that it happened, but I'm really happy that the committee really allowed him to go in, even though he didn't have both of the criteria. Because he's led in earnings for that 3 to 5 year span. He was first or second in wins in a year for 12 years. I mean, that is an impressive stat, especially from where he rode. I mean, he was going championship meets at Belmont. He was going Saratoga meets, which is the toughest meet going. He's going to Gulfstream Park for their championship meet. This guy just won everything. He was that good for that short a time. And to have as many wins, his career winning percentage at 23% is ungodly. That is insane. So there was no doubt he was a slam dunk, deserved to go in, and I'm happy that the committee allowed him to do that. This is the Paddock Pass here on 104.5 The Team, 104.5theteam.com. And we are joined now by the producer, co-hosts, whatever we really need him to be here on the Levac Show on 104.5 The Team, Tom Gozlowski.
Jack of all trades. Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed your podcast. I'm happy to be a part of it now.
Of course, man. Of course. Now, many should know, but they might not know that you did really, really well last year when it comes to the Triple Crown races, didn't you?
American Pharoah is the best roommate I've ever had. He helped me pay rent a lot over the summer, so thank you to American Pharoah.
Not bad at all. So we're going to do a nice segment here. It's going to be an Oscar-style award show for last year, 2015, in the horse racing calendar year. Now, we broke this up into a few different categories, and a lot of them might steer towards American Pharoah, but I tried to give it a little bit of bias away from them. I guess I'll take that. We'll see how you feel about it. So the first one we're going to go is going to be Best Actor or Actress in a Leading Role. Now, we looked at least for me, I picked a lot of, of the bigger races throughout the year. We put American Pharoah, the Belmont Stakes. I'm going to try and not be biased in this one since I was there. I saw history. So for me, it was amazing. We had Beholder in the Pacific Classic, which she dominated. And then Songbird in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, which, again, she dominated as well. So I'm going to let you take this one. Which way did you go?
I'm going towards American Pharoah in the Belmont Stakes. That is the performance everyone's going to remember. It had been so many years, close to 3 decades since we had finally seen that Triple Crown winner. And to go out there in the Belmont Stakes and finally get the job done, American Pharoah wins it. Now, the field he was going up against, he was by far and away the best going in. Maybe he could have been challenged a bit more. We've seen bigger Belmont Stakes fields numbers-wise going into it. But still, American Pharoah got the job done. He's my pick here for Best Actor, Actress, and the best performance in a race.
Oh, well, this one had me torn a little bit because earlier in the show, I mentioned Songbird. If Jerry Hollendorfer is listening to the show, I swear to God, he's going to call me and freak out because I have no idea what he's doing with this filly. She's the best 3-year-old in training right now. She needs to be running against the boys in the Kentucky Derby. Jerry, if you want, call me. I'm telling you, you need to have this filly running in the Kentucky Derby. But I have to agree with you. I was there, American Pharoah in the Belmont, just to be in the stands, to feel the stands shaking, to be the crowd being as loud as it was, and to be able to see history. It was unbelievable.
I want to go back to this filly talk, too, because let's look back. It was 2010 that Rachel Alexandra blows out the field in the Kentucky Oaks, and then I think it's Mine That Bird that wins the Kentucky Derby. Yep. If the filly had run, and now we both understand this. When you know your horse is better than everyone else you're running against, it's tough to say, I don't want to win X amount of money. I think the Oaks is like $1 million.
Yep.
To say you don't want to win $1 million is tough because you're banking on a field of 19, I think it was in that, and Rachel would have been 20 in that field. But can this horse, this filly you touched on, be a top 3 Derby contender? Do you understand the risk involved there? Is this horse that good?
I think she is.
Wow.
I actually think she's going to be better. And this is where earlier in the show I touched on it, and it really kills me is because if you look at Zenyatta when she was really good, you look at Rachel Alexandra when she was really good, they took chances.
Right.
Yeah. Rachel Alexandra won the Preakness, beat the boys.
Calvin Burrell hopped off Mine That Bird to Rachel, right?
Yeah. So he goes, I'm going to hop off this 50-1 shot to win the Kentucky Derby to be on the best horse, which obviously was the best horse that day. And then you have Zenyatta, wins the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Classic against the boys. Arguably the best female horse we've ever seen.
Right. Absolutely.
So now you have these two horses, and this horse I think is better. This horse can be better than both of these horses. And I like to pump my chest a little bit because I was all over American Pharoah last year. I said in March that he was going to win the Triple Crown. I still think this horse can be as good, maybe better than those horses.
And you would feel cheated as a horse racing fan if you don't get to see the best go up against the best. If
Absolutely.
you think she's just going to blow away the field in the Oaks, then you don't want to see it. And I'm with you. I don't want to see it either. I want to see if she can do it. And after especially the American Pharoah story of last year, imagine if she wins that race. You thought horse racing was awesome. Now we have this almost a female revolution in sport with Holly Holm and Ronda Rousey. If a filly goes and wins the Derby the year after Pharoah, how great it would be for the sport. I'm with you, too. I want to see that happen.
And you got to think, especially for the high that the sport is on right now, what could be better than this filly coming along, beating the boys, getting everyone's attention again in May, and now you have this story to push along through the summer again. And we could be lucky enough to see this horse. I hope we are lucky enough to see this horse running in Saratoga this year, but we'll see. We'll get down the line. Jerry, give me a call. I'll tell you exactly what you need to do, buddy. All right? We're going to move on to the next one, which is, this one's tough to swallow, but the biggest upset winner of this year. Now, the one that kills me, again, was there, unfortunately, to see it, was Keen Ice over American Pharoah in the Travers. Then you had Stormy Lucy in the Matriarch at Del Mar, paid $132 to win. Didn't have that one, unfortunately. And then Academic in the Woodbine Oaks, another one that paid $130 plus, beat the 4-5 favorite London Tower that day. Where are you going in this one?
There are bigger upsets than this, but again, the bias here for me pulls it towards Keen Ice over American Pharoah. I may or may not have tried to use my media pass to see as far as I could go. And actually, I wasn't using it. This is a podcast confession. My buddy stole my media pass and was just flashing around and claiming that I was his assistant. So we went as far as we could with that media pass, and we had some great view of coming down the line of Keen Ice catching American Pharoah. And I'll never forget it. It was one of the coolest sporting events I've ever been to in my life, where I'm like, he's going to get caught. He's going to get caught. And then your mouth just kind of drops. You're like, he lost. This Triple Crown winning horse lost. So for me, yes, Keen Ice, the upset win in the Travers Stakes is the biggest upset for me.
I'll go off a story for you that day. I may or may not have used a media pass that was not mine. I mean, that's up for debate. We'll talk about that another time. Anyway, so my girlfriend actually, whose brother's famous in the ESPN ranks, so we ended up going up in the turf terrace with his mother and watching the race up there. Now, they all ask me, are you into horse racing? Yeah, a
little bit.
I've dabbled every now and then, So one of the guys at the tables asked me, who do you like? Well, I got a tip on a horse. I don't know if you guys heard of him. American Pharoah, he's pretty good. So I tell him, I played American Pharoah on top of Keen Ice and Frosted. That's exactly how I played it. Pick fours, pick threes, exacta triples, everything. So the guy goes, okay. And he's throwing I'm playing $2 exactas. This guy is not playing $2 exactas. Throws a ton down, boxes the triple. So down the lane, I'm screaming for American Pharoah to hold on, and he's screaming for Keen Ice to go by because he boxed it.
Right.
So, of course, I'm sitting, oh, my God, it killed me. Of course, he's jumping up and down saying, thanks, great job. And I'm like, no, this is not a great job.
This is not good.
This is the worst thing that could have happened. What are you talking about?
And where we were, it was probably about 100 people. And there was, like you said, there's always that one guy way in the back. Yeah, Keen Ice, because he's worried about his wallet, right?
It's like that video I posted on being at the Belmont. The guy in front of me that's not too happy that American Pharoah was about to win the Triple Crown. Right. But unfortunately, as much as the other ones were probably bigger upsets, money-wise, this one for America and the horse racing community was the biggest upset of the year. So Keen Ice over American Pharoah is definitely going to win that one. So we're going to go, this one's going to be the best actor, actress in a supporting role. So I basically based this one on who you felt did the best training job this year overall.
It's tough to go against Bob Baffert, right? Is it? I know this is a layup, but I know what you're going to say. He's got the best horse. He's got the best horse in the field. So did he have to do the best coaching job? It's like saying you're Steve Kerr or Luke Walton, I guess, for a time being. You've got the best team. Are you doing the best coaching job? I lean towards Bob Baffert still because when the expectations are risen higher and higher with each win by American Pharoah, it's tough to go against him. I lean towards Bob Baffert because he got the job done at the end and won the championship. Maybe the biggest championship in close to 40 years. So I lean towards Baffert still, and he is my pick here.
Well, you agree. He definitely had the best horse.
Yes,
There's no doubt.
No doubt.
There's no doubt he had the best horse. But that is the exact argument I'm going to take. So he had the best horse. What exactly did he have to do? I mean, what does Greg Popovich have to do to help the Spurs win?
Right.
Nothing. Steve Kerr is the best coach in basketball. Why? Because he has the best team. So mine's going to be, I'm going hometown here, man, all the way. Chad Brown. Chad Brown.
Right. Okay.
Led in wins, was really close in earnings, had a ton of Grade 1 wins this year, including, I believe, 3 on Breeders' Cup Day, all over Wavell Avenue, by the way. That was a huge win for me. Thank you very much. So I'm going Chad Brown here, and hopefully the hometown guys are following me. Bob Baffert did a great job this year. Todd Pletcher's always up there, but this year I'm going hometown. I'm all over Chad Brown.
Chad Brown kicked my butt this summer. Mr. Gizlowski, my father, was rolling. He goes, you got to look at Chad Brown horse. You got to roll with Chad Brown more and more this summer. I was backing off a bit. He was smarter. He caught on. Chad Brown put some green in his wallet. I was too late to the party for Chad Brown. He had a very good season this year.
Now, you'll be ready this year in the Saratoga meet, all over him. So our final one we're going to go on is, of course, the biggest one, Best Picture. Now, the way I wanted to go about this one was, what was your most memorable race this year? One that you won't forget.
I never thought I would forget the moment of watching American Pharoah cross the finish line and winning the Triple Crown. I thought this is the moment, whether it be Smarty Jones, Funny Side, all the horses that got so close. Once that moment finally happened, I thought that was going to win by far and away. But for me, because I was there, because I had a good view of the shot, because of everybody around me, because of the ridiculous suit I was wearing that was pink and green, and my friend right next to me, Jesse. Shout out to Jesse. It's the 2015 Travers Stakes where American Pharoah gets beat. There's only a select few of people that can say, I was there when American Pharoah lost a race. And as much as American Pharoah helped me out this summer with Rent, that's my best picture, the 2015 Travers Stakes.
And you can say that because you were one of the capped amount of people that were allowed to go in there, because they had to cap the attendance because it was so big. And I just remember walking in and seeing the amount of people that were there at 6:30 in the morning. Now I've gone...
And the day before, how about just run 2 laps around the track, and it was packed for the open... I'm forgetting the word right now. The open
for
run,
his workout. Yeah.
Workout, thank you, open workout.
So, I mean, I was there that morning. I parked back at the Racino and walked up. And that was just to get a glimpse, and we were sitting right on the clubhouse turn, and I'll never forget it because I was looking down on my phone to get a shot ready, and I couldn't tell if it was him coming or not because they had the exercise rider right next to him, so I couldn't really tell. And then all of a sudden I get an update on Twitter, and it's our boy Armin Williams, shout out to him out in Denver. He's tweets something at me, and it's a picture of me on TV while I'm looking down on my phone and not taking a picture of American Pharoah.
And you know what? We bumped into each other, walking in that similar direction, and I was like, what's going on? He's like, I was just on TV. Armin's killing me right now.
So, I understand that point of view, and I'm going to go off of what you were saying, that you were there. For me, seeing history the way that I did, being a part of 90,000 strong at Belmont on June 6th, I have to say it was him winning the Triple Crown. People will go on to say that, he's the only horse to win the Grand Slam. That was the bigger deal. I guess, not that I take away too much of the Breeders' Cup Classic win because he still beat a quality field, but I guess I would have felt really good if he beat Beholder because of how good she was this year.
Right.
And then her scratching out kind of dropped that down for me a little bit. So for me, I'm going to go Belmont Stakes. Being there, because I was there the year before when California Chrome turned for home and just faded the last eighth of a mile for me. To be able to be there, to see history that hopefully we'll see again, but you never know.
Never know.
So what do you think? After looking this year at some of the horses coming out in the 2-year-old into the 3-year-old division now, is there a possibility that we could have another one this year?
I'm not going to try to dodge the question, but I'm going to hold it for the sense that I need to see like the Arkansas Derby, the Louisiana Derby. I get we're a couple, like 3 months away, even less than that, but I need to see the comp get risen up a bit. This is almost like spring training for me in a sense that we're seeing guys go out there, horses run around, and they're hitting the batting practice, but when the real races show up and you get tested in a live setting with the competition up, I'm ready to make a pick then. My dad did give me the name of one horse that he said I need to watch. It starts with the letter M, and we talked about it a little bit before the podcast, and you're nodding your head. I think you like him as well.
Mohey, man, is really, really tough right now. And, for me, he's probably the favorite. Nyquist came and ran really well this past week. And, for me, it's going to be, Jerry, listen to me, buddy. Just go and do it. Songbird, she will be your favorite if you want to run her. Just go and do it. Come on, buddy. So this is the Paddock Pass here. I'm your host, Brian Mariano, and of course we had Tom Goslowski joining us. Now, the last thing I want to touch on with you is you're always really good with the all feature in your trifectas.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm going to get killed on this. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Set it up. Go ahead.
No. I want to know, did you use the all feature in any of your plays during, Breeders' Cup time? Is there one where you wish you used all? You got a story for me? Because I know you killed it when it came to the Triple Crown races.
Here's my thing, and let me just defend myself real quick on my alls bet. And the reason I do that is because I've lost so much money, and I get it's not the best investing move by any means of the imagination. Like, I got my butt kicked for so many years not doing the all thing, and then I just started to research. I'm like, all right, if I find a horse that I love, I don't care about second. I don't care about third. If I know this horse is going to pay me money and I got to pay a little bit extra, I'll make it back when I see the winnings and the horse gives it back to me. And that worked for American Pharoah for a while. A lot of times it worked for American Pharoah. I get people are going to argue and say he's one of the greatest horses of all time. It may not work again. But do I regret not doing the alls? I think I have more regrets of doing the alls at Saratoga than not doing them, especially with the horses that I thought were going to win, and I go up there and spend a lot more money than I should, and they completely bomb on me. So that's how I look at it now. More of the kicks in the gut rather than what I should have done. If I have to think about both, I don't know if I'm going to wake up in the morning.
Well, I guess I'm going to be the opposite of you because I hate spending all that money. I'm a cheap SOB. So, granted, you're the one that killed it through Triple Crown season. I did okay when it came to Breeders' Cup, but whichever way you want to bet out there, it always seems to work out. Guys had a few months rent paid. I did okay, maybe a month of rent, depending on the size of the apartment you're living in.
It only takes one superfecta. That's all it takes, and then you one bet, and you're back in it.
That is true. All right, well, guys, I appreciate you joining us here.
Thank
on the
you. Keep
Pass,
up the
man.
great work.
Absolutely, man. Big thanks to producer Gaz for joining the show today. That was fun. And always having fun here at the 104.5 The Team studios. And that's going to about wrap up this week's show. I appreciate you guys joining in. If you feel free, you listen, please share this as much as you can. Try and get as much momentum as we can moving forward. Next week, we can look forward to more updates. We're going to be all over California Chrome's prep race. That is next Thursday. And, of course, we're going to have updates on all of the Kentucky Derby prep races. This, of course, is the Paddock Pass here on 104.5 The Team, 104.5theteam.com. This is Brian Mariano signing out, hoping that all your Pick 4 tickets are winning ones.